Hello everyone and welcome back to the RGDS podcast. I'm your host, Kingy, and joining me in this exciting adventure is the one and only Drisky Whiskey, doesn't get pisky.
Yeah, Drisky likes his whiskey.
Yeah, Drisky likes his whiskey, yeah, he does indeed. You go to these cigar bars, don't you, and drink whiskey in Birmingham. I don't have anything like that even in Edinburgh. Well, maybe it does exist in Edinburgh.
But mind you, when I see those beautiful sorts of outdoors and some of the beautiful places that you know your way, quite jealous.
Yeah, I know. Every place has got its good points. I don't know about Birmingham. Sorry, those that live in Brum, but the things I've saw of it is it's like that bit at the end of Planet of the Apes, you know, the closing scene.
It's not far off. Yeah.
Oh dear. So how are you, my friend? How are you doing?
I'm really good. I managed to get back to Arcade Club, which was awesome. So
how do you manage it? How do you have such an understanding wife?
Well, it was a combination of say I'm going rather than ask permission.
Yeah.
Repent afterwards, isn't it? Yeah. You can always repent later. And also, yeah, I just, came into a little bit of money with my messing around with the music. So I just thought, you know what? Charlie and me, let's go up again. It'd be nice. And it's because there's so much there to enjoy and do that it was really nice just being able to play the pinball more. And I spent a lot of time on the candy cabs and stuff like that. It was just nice.
I think I came away from the last one there. It was very much a social weekend for me, this one. And it's getting that fine balance. I love meeting with everyone and chatting with them and having a good laugh, a few beers. Just even the newcomers, getting to know them, making them feel a bit more welcome, because we've all been strangers for the first time at a place, and it's always
You're
a bit
so
more...
good at that. I'm really bad because I'm quite a solo bunny.
But the trouble is, the downside of that is you come home and I didn't play near enough games as I should have. So no, I don't mind. I mean, I played enough, and that's the main thing. But yeah, I'm certainly jealous that you went back down again, because it's like, if it was just that little bit closer for me, then I certainly would frequent it a bit more often than once a year. That is for me. But going the once a year does make it very special. It's something you absolutely look forward to, and it is one of the highlights of the year. So I won't take that impact away.
I will say, I mean, because going back so close, I mean, obviously it doesn't have the same bursting excitement. It really was so exciting because it was like a full year since I'd last been when we did our meetup. So it does add to the excitement. You can imagine if you regularly went, you like anything, it gets a bit, gets a bit samey, doesn't it? It becomes less special, I guess,
I suppose yes and no. I mean, you always hear me reminisce about the multiple arcades I had down this way. And at that perfect point in life, between your teenage years, I suppose is the best way to describe it, is how most Friday nights I would have been down at the arcades. And it was costing money, all your pocket money blown. Any other money you can beg, borrow and steal just to go and play another game, another Shotty Outrun or Double Dragon or Spy Hunter or Bubble or anything in between. And I never get bored of it. There's just something really exciting about going to a place that's focused gaming. And that's what it is. There's less distractions. The only distraction there is the game next to the game you're playing.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That is the difficulty. There's so much choice that you end up saying, you die and then you walk away and walk to another machine.
Exactly. Whereas you would go, if it was your Space Invaders in the local chippy, you would have just stuck at that until you got better, So you need to train your mind just a little bit more, just to say, you know what, I don't need to play all the games this time round. Let's curate that list a little bit more. Let's limit it. Let's play the games that are more important to me, or games that maybe I'm not as well skilled at. And just to get that little bit better, learn the nuances of the game a little bit more, and more so because it's perhaps a, bespoke controller, or even just as simple that you don't have a 4-way controller at home. that sometimes the eight-way controller buggers up the movement, so play it on the real hardware at the arcades just to get the real total feel for it. But yeah, I'm glad you went, mate.
Yeah, I mean, even though you got access to a lot of these games, you know what it's like at home. There's just like a million distractions
There
going
is.
on. So one of the things nice about going to the arcade is you're there for a purpose. You know what I mean? You're there to, you know, the only distraction is yourself, really, and wanting to play them all. But yeah, very good.
Yeah, good. I'll need to make an effort. Just one weekend when I'm free and maybe the wife's working. She works various shifts. That just make that effort. It's hotel costs.
It is. It's
more
so
than anything
expensive.
else.
Yeah, that's the pricey bit. The travel's not.
Travel's doable, right? I mean, it's hard to tell the road networks. I mean, obviously, if I'm going down for the Saturday, I need to leave on the Friday night, and the Friday night rush for everyone on the motorways to get home wherever they're going is hellish, you know, up to about back of 6, 7 o'clock at night. And then this time of the year when the weather's horrendous and it's dark, the motorways are dreary. I was down in Liverpool the weekend after Arcade Club for the drum show for my son, and we stayed there the weekend, and he wanted to stay at the bitter end on the Sunday, and then we drove up and the storm came and the pissing rain, poor visibility, pitch blackness, and driving all the way from Liverpool way up to Glasgow to drop him back off at uni, and then us then to drive all the way to Fife. And it's like, I hate that long nighttime driving. You see me, you're tired, and I was fully the Arcade Club lurgy at that point. Then I was really ill that weekend, just felt like shit, but I didn't complain one bit, you know, unlike when the wife caught it after that, and she took a week off fucking work for it.
Oh,
it
knocked me out. I was ill for a week.
It was a bad one, but yeah, your eyes play tricks on you driving the road at night, and you're convinced that the road bends round, you know, especially if there's not tail lights in front of you, which are all like lemmings on the motorway. Then, you know, once it gets a bit more sparse up the Lake District, something like that, where you're going through Kendal or whatnot, the road could bend to you think it's bending to the left, but it's going to the right, and it's like, oh my God, I need to stop and go for a coffee at one of these extortionate, you know, welcome rest places or whatever. So I don't like that, but I wish there was more a easy way to get to places. Trains are hit and miss, flying's expensive, more than that in a minute, but yeah, anyway, so glad you went. That sounds good. I'm jealous.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, beyond that, there's so many like retro toys that are coming up. It's that time of year, I guess, coming up for Christmas.
Aye.
It's like the Amiga Maxi. I'm so excited for that. Have you seen that? Yeah. I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is, to our listeners, if you've not been following with it, it's like, it's a full-size A1200 done by Retro Games. So they're the one that did the Amiga Mini. So you'll be able to put every single game on the Amiga on it through like an SD, you know, like through like a USB stick. And what's cool as well, it will also take not just ADF, but WHD, which means those little hard drives, so you can play them without the disc swaps. And
that's a game changer, isn't it?
it is. But I'm just so excited because it looks really good. And it's a good price, isn't it? It's like 150 quid. Which,
yes, I mean, I'm not complaining at that
reasonable
price. Yeah.
And like the 25 games on it are really good. I mean, they haven't announced them all, but they've announced that the 3 Turrican games are going to be on it. Settlers 2, which never ever got released on the Amiga, so that's really cool. So someone's released it. And I know It Came From the Desert 2 is going to be on it, It Came From the Desert 2 was basically the CD-TV, CD32 version.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also cool because that means clearly that they're out of the box making it play CD32 and stuff like that, which you could do on the Mini, but you had to jump through some hoops to set it up. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
But I'm stopping myself with some of the other ones, like the Evercade Bubble Counter Cab looks amazing because, of course, you can play the Evercades, like put in your own cartridges. But
it's a good idea, that.
Yeah. But it's, I just look at all my other minis that I've got and I'm thinking, I don't really play them. Do I really need another one?
Yeah, that's why I just don't.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I like the look, and don't get me wrong. If someone offered me them, I was like, "Oh, I'll take that off your hands. Yes, thank you very much." But to part with money, the Amiga Max is very tempting. Just to have a working Amiga keyboard, and I would need to find a place to set that up though, because like with the Spectrum Recreation that they did, the rubber keyboard thing, and I've got the Atari 8-bit as well, that my knees don't like sitting in the living room floor plugging it into the telly anymore, and even craning your neck up, looking up a little bit. The body just can't take that. So I need an area to set that kind of thing up. And
I think I'll take the plunge of like buy another monitor, because my monitor that I had is now used for the arcade cab.
Yeah.
The arcade cab I set up, yeah.
Yeah. But if you do a monitor, there is no audio. Obviously, if you're getting a monitor, you need to get a splitter.
Maybe get a TV. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'll get a TV, actually.
Yeah, that's
They're cheap
the
enough,
downside.
aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean...
And then I could have my Amiga and the Spectrum. What else do you need in life?
See, in truth, you can play them forever and be happy. Let's be honest about it. We've just got too many games to play, and that is very focused, and two of the most important computers of both our lives.
Well, I've been really enjoying doing those Amiga Power magazine deep dives.
Yeah.
So it's only video only. So, but it's but essentially just I wanted to do, because usually when you get magazine like deep dives, it's just somebody with the actual magazine just loosely flicking through and just very much summarizing. But I wanted to do the opposite to that, like read out pretty much the whole magazine, which I know isn't for everybody, but I've enjoyed, particularly because it's a real, like, for gaming historians hat that I like to wear now and again. It's a real snapshot in time. It's like you get a real sense of what 1991 July was, and things like that. So it's kind of cool. And of course that brings back so many memories. So yeah, so I'm enjoying doing those, but they do take a long time to work through. But it does make me enjoy the Amiga, again, it sort of hones me to play certain key games.
Yeah, I need to go back to it again. When I go down that rabbit hole, I'm on it for ages, and then I not forget about it, it's maybe the wrong choice of word, but there's, back to the word distractions again, there's just other things to take your focus away.
There's so many things going on,
Yeah, absolutely. So, cool. Myself, a couple of things, partially to do with this episode, which we got on in a little minute, for one of the particular games, but for other reasons I've been wanting one for ages, and so I bought a flight yoke.
Wow.
I just went on eBay and got it for £37, so it's a decent price.
Nice.
To be honest. So I got the Thrustmaster HOTAS 1 control, really good, really, and it's in mint condition as well, so I'm very pleased at the price.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
I got it for.
Yeah, I bet it costs a fortune.
Not too bad, £70 on Amazon at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So not too bad if you want it brand new. If you're a brand new snob, like one of our listeners and friends of the show, Turnbull, because it was him and I that were speaking about it, trying to play a bunch of games, and there's a lot of potential for MAME and Technopara and Steam and everything else. So we were discussing the best one to get, and we both bit the bullet. He bought one brand new from Amazon, and I, cheapskate me, I'll just get a second hand for all I need it for, and it's perfect. And I've been playing, it works good, even on games like Space Harrier.
I was going to ask with things like Space Harrier and things, because obviously that wasn't really analog. So can you like turn it? Do you have to tweak it each time? Or
no, MAME's inputs recognize analog inputs as digital. So once you map it, there's a tensioning button underneath the flight yoke, so you can alter the.
Oh, so you can easily alter on the fly. Yeah.
And it works great with Thunderblade, mate. Properly been played Thunder, because it was morning we were speaking. I eventually got go out, and I loved it at Arcade Club. Absolutely, and this is great. A lot of people don't like Thunderblade, but I've got a very soft spot for it. So it was great to be able to use the thrust and stuff like that, map all the buttons and just get the way that I wanted it. So really pleased. Even games then like Tron, I was able to configure it with the spinner as well as in the joystick, so you'd be able to play it more like the arcade. I was playing it better because of that. It just shows you just getting the right thing. So there's great potential with it. So
that'd be good fun.
It's a rabbit hole to go down. I've barely tried it with Technoparrot yet, but I will, and like the Star Wars Pod will be a great example of a game to use a flight yoke for. So
I was thinking that one and the sister one, the Mac one, that's Mac Rider. Yeah.
Be good. And I suppose only one other thing, I'm off down to your neck of the woods after insulting Birmingham. I'll be landing in Birmingham Airport on Saturday morning at time, well, obviously this coming Saturday at time of recording, which is for Crash Live, which is in Kenilworth, so it's southeast Kenilworth off Birmingham, is that right?
Yeah, so is it kind of, yes, so it's not far from Leamington Spa, is it, I think? Yeah. I saw the lineup. I'm so jealous. You've got some amazing people going there.
Yeah, but so I'm going down with Almac on the Saturday flight down. EasyJet cancelled their early morning flight, so we're having to leave a little bit later. So you appreciate why this is really pissing me off. What do you know who the first talk of the day is?
Yeah, I know. It's
Steve Turner.
Steve Turner
going on about Avalon.
Avalon, your favourite game.
My most favourite game in the frickin' world, and I'm going to miss the talk because EasyJet are a bunch of wankers. I mean, we didn't even get told that the flight was cancelled. It was just, I think Al had noticed a refund back on his credit card. It's like, our flight's been cancelled. Why would the red-eye flight be cancelled? You know what I mean? And then there was no other flights. We tried, Ryanair, and as usual, if it was Gatwick.
They just didn't tell you, so you could have turned up thinking you were going to go.
Yeah. It was just I've never used
EasyJet or Ryanair.
I mean, I've done them a few times, and for what they are, budget flights are fine. But when you rely on it, I've no annual leave left because it's the end of the year, right? My holidays run from January to December, so you're kind of encouraged to use them all up. So when events are on at this time of the year, or otherwise could have driven down on the Friday, or but hey ho, I'll get down. It'll be a good time, and we're meeting with your good self then on Sunday, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm looking. I've got the pass from the missus, which I was quite surprised with. I thought I might be in trouble.
You've got a good wife, so we'll be meeting in Walsall, won't we?
Yeah, Retroram you'll be able to see. Obviously not a patch on Arcade Club, but it's a nice accompanying piece because there's a lot of machines there, like Afterburner Climax and a lot of like obviously Sega Race TV. So there's loads of ones you don't get in Arcade Club. So it's nice accompanying.
No, it'd be good. Looking forward to it. So it'll be good to see you as well. So that's
it'd be awesome to see you. Yeah.
Cool. Right, shall we get on to the main episode?
Yeah, excited. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Right, so in case you've not looked at the poster or read the blurb, we are covering the Sega Naomi system. So that's Naomi 1 and Naomi 2. And, well, what is Naomi? Well, what is the acronym, Paul? Do you know what the acronym for Naomi stands for?
I don't actually. I mean,
it's New Arcade Operation Machine Idea. How boring is that?
Oh, okay. I think it was like Namco mixed with something.
Yeah. But equally, the research and development head of Sega called it that in honour of the supermodel Naomi Campbell as well, apparently. So rumour has it. Anyway, so what is the Sega Naomi? Well, it was an arcade counterpart that complemented the Dreamcast at the time. They, at their core, were siblings, built from nearly the same DNA, I suppose, but they are raised in very different worlds. So the Dreamcast obviously was designed for the living room. It was affordable. It was sleek, whereas Naomi was its more tougher arcade counterpart, sorry. It has to survive coin up punishment and people kicking the shit out of machines and that, so it had slightly more eye-popping visuals without any form of compromise whatsoever. Both the systems shared the Hitachi SH4 CPU, and the Power VR2 graphics chip, which meant a game designed for Naomi could easily be ported across to the Dreamcast with almost no loss in its performance or visual fidelity. And that's quite a revolutionary idea at the time, to be honest, Paul, isn't it? You know, that Sega's rethinking the whole thing, where initially released big hitters in the arcade, where games rise to fame, like your Crazy Taxis and, you know, Virtua Fighter and all the rest or whatnot, and then let's release them on the Dreamcast.
And they were so good. I mean, it really was, you know, that's why I love my Dreamcast. I mean, it had so many of these arcade home ports. Obviously, we're probably not going to be talking about some of the big hitters. And sadly, there was a large swathe of them, as this episode will prove, that never got home port, which is
absolutely criminal when you think about it. Yeah. And that's why it's sometimes important to do a Hidden Gems episode, just to, because we can go into the obvious games on the episode and do, I mean, we've covered these kind of games in many, well, that's the trouble, where it's Naomi or the Dreamcast, we've covered the Crazy Taxis and all the kind of predictable games, if you know what I mean. So it's nice to just dive that a little bit more deeper and cover games that maybe some of the listeners have never heard of or played and maybe forgotten about. You know,
well, I'm so pleased that you mentioned this, because for ages I really had struggled to get this emulator working in the past, and I'd reached out to our listeners and you know, anybody who would listen, and you know, never been able to get it working, and then you were like, "Oh, should we do an episode? And here's how you do it," and it was like, "Oh my god!" I suddenly have like the arcade version of Crazy Taxi and 18-wheeler and along with the ones we're going to be talking about, but you know, like so many classics on it.
Yeah,
and it was like the one, well, not the one, because it's one of the arcade holes that was missing in my library. Was this period? So I think the only next one is the one that was based on the Xbox. Was it Limburg? That's
yeah. We shall try. I'm sure it will. A good way to...
Well, Technoparrot does a lot of them, to be fair.
It does, and that's growing and from strength to strength. Each time you go back and look at it, it's like, wow, new version, new revision. And because we recently got the Pac-Man Battle Royale, as we were saying in previous episode release. So, you know, just all your favourites eventually appear. And it's like, this is quality, because there's something really magical, especially with Sega at this time, that even from their Model 3 arcade hardware as well, and then it moved on to the Naomi. So the whole late 90s and early 2000s, the Sega arcade titles.
Oh, they were the king at this point.
Yeah, they still remained. I mean, most other companies gave up at this point, hadn't they?
Yeah.
And Sega was still churning them out and delivering games that are highly memorable and desirable, that you want to play them. And that's the whole point.
But I know I keep saying this, but it does fry my brain that you know, why doesn't Sega release these games? I mean, it'd be, you know, you look at Arcade Archive, and the stuff they're making a pretty packet on. Sega could do that with like no effort, you know, just release your, and you know, I don't want sequels or remakes like their Shinobi one they did recently. Just give me Shinobi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm happy if you want to do sequels, but surely putting a ROM with a nice like front end, a bit of history, and giving people the chance to buy it legitimately with leaderboards isn't too difficult to do, is it? Really?
You'd think. But, and especially with the way the system was, you know, I'm sure it's very easily portable. Not portable. You can't say portable, however the word is, but to be transferred over to not just PC, but Switch, Xbox, and PS4. Let's celebrate Sega and a compilation of these later era games where, you know, there's no, apart from Arcade Club, that doesn't get a lot of these in. It's got a number of them that they're rare as hen's teeth.
Yeah. No,
right,
I mean,
this is the thing.
You don't see part of it is because Naomi board's like quite famous for they crashed out. They crashed quite a lot, from what I understand. So
the trouble is, you've got hard drives in them. Some ROM cartridges, there's ROMs. There's a GD-ROM as well, isn't there? Via DIM module. There's various ways of Naomi 1 and 2 as well. I mean, it kind of tried to create the same swappable standard like the JAMA arcades. It modernised that new boards can be easily plugged in and stuff like that. And with ease of networking and link play connecting, you can have a standalone machine or two machines next to each other that they can link together for, cross-play or competitive racing or whatnot. They created standards that were transferable between games, and that was a good thing. It's not just a bespoke one-off system board for one game, because that was the old model, wasn't it, for many things back in the day, and then you got the JAMA standard, and then this is just a natural evolution of swappable systems in it. But the trouble with that, people can swap things in and out of systems, especially if it's not you get the deluxe cabs, don't you? That's the thing where some of the games that we're on about here, the only way to play it is on the very bespoke cab that it came on. I mean, if you had a certain racing game with special levers and whatnot, that's not going to be you swapping that out for something else. You're not going to use half the features or buttons or levers on a game.
Yeah, exactly.
If you see what I mean. So, yeah, it's surprising when you look at the list of games of it's kind of half and half. It's like, well, I know that you know the big hitters. And the only reason you probably know the big hitters is because they got the Dreamcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A lot of them are like, oh, this is the Dreamcast version. But I'm itching to play so many of them. But I had because I'm unlike you, I have the opposite problem where I hadn't really used a lot of my holiday. So you're only allowed to carry 5 days over.
Yeah.
So I was like, use it or lose it kind of thing. So I thought I'll book a week off when it's like the least disruptive for like work projects and stuff that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to be, planning to do so much retro gaming. Then the wife decided she was ill.
She decided.
And then suddenly she's like Queen of Sheba barking out all these orders of things that I have to do, like clean out the storage unit, bring the winter clothes here, do this, do that. And before I knew it, and there was 2 days I had to like babysit Mira, and it was like before I knew it, it was like the week was over. But I mean, thankfully I did the arcade club, so I shouldn't complain too much. But it did go by in a blur.
Yeah, awesome. That's good. Right, shall we go into the games then?
Yeah, interesting to know which order you're going to do.
Yeah, I'll keep you on your toes, mate. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's go for a game or a genre. I'm not really, I do like them. I'm just not as passionate as our Garen about them. But let's go to a very, very strange shoot 'em up called Illmatic Envelope.
Yes.
So that was released in 2008, developed by Milestone. Now they've got quite an eclectic, they've never really ever specialised in any one particular genre, have they, Paul?
No.
They've got a strange mix of games by them. But what is Illmatic Envelope?
I would like to know because I'm confused. I loved it, but I was like, what the hell is going on?
I think it's very difficult to try to understand what it's about, but it's a very trippy shoot 'em up with odd looking visuals. In fact, the best way I can describe it is the bastard child of Parappa the Rapper and some bullet hell game.
Yes,
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
The graphics and the whole concept of the game is utterly batshit crazy, where your ship is flying over surreal landscapes like Lego block type lands, or, you know, and as I say, it's all paper thin, and there's a 3D effect off the 2D, if that makes sense, doesn't it, Paul? That everything's flat, but it moves up. There's a sense of
I do love it. It's crazy. Yeah, it's like it's very much sort of like everything feels paper, like Paper Mario type thing, isn't it?
It's great. It's lovely in that way.
Yeah.
The people will be familiar with bullet hells, okay? And there's no real narrative in this game to drive you along to explain it, but it's like you're on a PDA, right?
Yes, yeah.
You're on a PDA, and someone's sending data and files all over the place, and there's folders shooting about and zooming about, and there's the sub-menus all pop up as you're playing, isn't there? You know, somebody's choosing files, folders, options. There's a whole operating system there. It's a bit weird, but it doesn't really bear any impact per se when they shoot them up. You still just zoom along, and there's a whole host of standard waves of aliens. If there is a folder that does appear that sucks you into a mini game where you have to kill and destroy the entire wave, or it says mission failed, so you don't get the bonus score or whatever. Then it goes back. You don't lose a life or anything. That goes into the main game, and then it just goes to absolute mental looking bosses and random stage numbers. Stage 86, stage 123, and it's just set to absolutely confuse you in this whole paper thin weird shoot 'em up landscape that I've played nothing like this in terms of a shooter, nor have I seen such a strange mix of visuals that you've got to take acid to play this game to appreciate it, probably.
It did feel like an acid trip, yeah. I mean, it was, what was great is because it's continually like swapping the background. It's sort of like, there's basically 100 micro stages just lasting. So it's a bit like, I suppose, WarioWare in some ways. You just never know what's going to happen next.
Quick action, quick rounds kind of thing going on in these sub-games, definitely.
Yeah. But I really loved it. I mean, it was one totally new to me, and I've discovered that there is, although it doesn't seem to be on the eShop, but there is like a sort of sequel on the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued with this one. It's just absolutely mad, but fun. But it's quite a solid blaster as well. I mean,
it's quite satisfying playing it.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed. I mean, it's certainly, it's not up there with a cave shooter or anything like that. No. I just enjoy the madness, and you never know, because it seemed to be random what was coming next. So you just never knew what was going to be thrown at you, and it is a visual treat.
I think to start off with, it's less bullet hell. It eases you in a little bit more, but then as you progress up the stages, the amount of dodging and evading of the maelstrom of bullets that come towards you is insane. But one bit I do like, there's a kind of R-type like element with it, where the orb that you get an R-type that goes in your nose.
Yeah.
So you have they're called doll modules, where you can detach them from the sides of your ship and deploy them, and you can strategically place them that they stay stationary at a certain angle. So I think there's a familiarity. If you know the type of boss fight coming, that doll can be there, this other doll can be there, and you're shooting at all different angles at the weak spots of the boss fights, or any enemies. It doesn't have to be the boss fights, but you can recall them like a shepherd does with his sheepdogs, just at a press of a button and obediently whiz back to your side again. So I thought that was quite a cool touch. Thought that was quite good. There are 3 different shot types in the game. So you got your missiles, there's swords, there's sickles. They all come at a decent speed. Then there's lasers, side lasers that lock on. They go at a higher speed. And then there's bubbles. It's a low speed, but they do more continuous damage, you know, because they're slower at passing. So the damage they do to enemies as they move up is more destructive in that way. So it's risk and reward and kind of your tactics and how you want to shoot. Or then you have your mega bomb that every kind of shoot 'em up has that kind of really just grants you invincibility for a short time, even though it's visually stunning, like it's going to kick the shit out of everything on the screen. It's not. It's just a visual stimulus to say you're immune for a bit. So go to these sneaky places where otherwise you would die to shoot the waves off the enemies or whatnot. It really does stand out because you've got this kind of fusion of file, envelope, mail, data, visual motifs. It's abstract, isn't it, in that way?
Yeah.
Very colourful backgrounds. The aesthetic is very unique to the shoot 'em up. Unique within the shoot 'em up genre, I think.
And I don't understand why we didn't get it on the Dreamcast, because you had like Karas, which is like the one before this, similar sort of thing. That came on the Dreamcast. And then Misley, I think Japanese only. And then Radagy as well, which is like another one in the of a similar ilk. And I mean, maybe they just felt maybe it was another game doing a similar madness with everything. Maybe they thought it was too much. But no, I really enjoyed this one, and I think it would have been a real hit on the Dreamcast if it had come out.
Yeah, I would have bought this up. I would have really enjoyed it because you know me for quirky, unique things that are not like any other thing. Yeah, we're limited to genres. I mean, every genre's been explored, you know, and I just have rehash. Not that's a bad thing to say, rehash after rehash, but you know, we know what to expect in games, and this just gives someone just that little bit.
It was just
outlandish.
I thought at one point I realised the finger was pointing, but I thought it was like doing the finger at me.
I know the one you were. I was thinking about that myself when I'm playing that stage. Yeah, it's the proctologist's finger. That's what that is moving up. So.
But no, it's really, really fun, and yeah, definitely one I'd recommend, and definitely one that was totally new to me, which was awesome.
Yeah,
and
what I did with this one is because I started playing it on my main PC, and because it's a vertical orientation shooter, I fired it onto my pinball cab cum vertical shooter table.
Oh, yours can run it. It's that powerful. Your pinball.
Yeah, I've got a 1080 graphics card inside that pinball table, so it handles these things no problem. So it was absolutely fine. So yeah, I had great fun playing this, and it's just uniquely weird. So if you like your shooters, I would say, and even if you're a bit, shooters are okay. It's not my favourite genre. I would urge anyone to give this one a go because of how visually weird it is, and you know, in the same way that when we saw the cel shaded graphics in Jet Set Radio, it looked uniquely weird at the time as well. It just stands out for that reason.
It does. I mean, bullet patterns, they're a little bit too manic for me. It doesn't have quite the hone nature of some of the Crave shooters. As you know, where there's always, you feel that there's a path through. This time, some of the, like, you'll get a laser come out of nowhere, and there's not enough time to dodge it.
I suppose that's where you have to conserve your smart bomb that gives you immunity.
Yeah.
You know,
but the trouble is with some of the shots, like the lasers. That's what I particularly mentioned, is that they happen so quick. You just haven't got a time. You know, something will just come on. To see. But then it probably is. You know, it probably is one you need to learn the patterns of a little bit more, which I'm not very good at doing. But
we'll need to speak to Garden if he's familiar with this one, because he's the guru. He knows everything about shoot 'em ups, and it'll be interesting if he's had experience playing this in, say, Japan when he was over or whatnot. I would like to hear his view on the game. You know, we're like, yes, it's got shiny stuff, it's a good shooter. He's like, nah, that's crap. The waveforms are this and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? We're easily impressed, you and I. So
what's it? I'm like, what's it, the Monty Python? I know what I like.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly.
Yeah. But no, good Good choice, eh? Good choice.
Good, glad you enjoyed that. There's, as you always say, that's 1 out of 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, let's move on to the next game, shall we? How much a fan were you of the Krypton Factor back in the day, Paul?
I wasn't really. I didn't really watch a lot of it. Yeah.
Okay, that's because you're thick. Right, that's okay.
Yes, yeah.
Right, that's okay. Right. But everybody was enamoured by them getting to have a go at the flight simulator and try to land it, because it wouldn't be a takeoff. It would be already in the air, and the contestants, after asking dozens of very difficult questions, and then running on an assault course, try to climb the bars and jump over muddy grounds or whatever else. They also had to equally see how good they were with tech, and that was another challenge on that TV show. So it was good. It was a whole conversation actually everyone was having. Yet again, I'm going to go back to Turnbull here. We were speaking about Taito's Top Landing and the series of those games. And they were great fun. Just, okay, they were about 8 to 8, if I remember right, that they came out. So it was sprite-driven games where either you had to do takeoff again, and it was a simulator. It was arcadey, but not like Sega arcadey. It had thrusters, levers, flaps, blah, 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 all the things you had to do. And these were great fun games to play. In a very serious Hornby train set kind of mindset, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, moving on to 1999, AM1, the wonderful AM1 that just makes so many great games for Sega, don't they?
Yeah.
Is Airline Pilots, which is my next choice of the game, where you control a Boeing 777, where in the arcade, the player takes... the player's given two choices, training or free flight. Training takes the player through a series of basic tests aimed at testing their overall proficiency as a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
These will range from very simple takeoffs or banking manoeuvres to hazardous flying. With simulated, that's the thing, it's got simulated engine failure, bad weather conditions. The trouble is, in that mode, most of the controls are controlled by the automated systems, leaving the player simply, you steer it with a flight stick, right?
Yeah.
But in free flight mode in this game, in the arcade, which has all got, the thrusters, the buttons, we've all seen photos of the cockpit of an airplane, right? And you just look at everything. It's like, how can anyone learn that? Yeah, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in a flight simulator is the reality of that. That's the thing. But in that mode, the player must use the throttle control, the flaps, the undercarriage, the pitch, the yaw adjustments to fly the plane through a series of... It's a bit like pilot wings, right?
Yeah.
There's computer-generated rings, and there's prompts just telling you what more to do. And then, after a minute has passed in the game, because the more rings you fly through, the more time is gained. But then the best part is the landing. Is getting down there and landing on that runway, and it could be weather conditions, wind, whatnot. So it's quite a serious simulator, and hence the reason I was on about earlier on. I purchased that Thrustmaster thing. Now, there's a slight problem with that I'm needing to do a workaround that you can do on just an Xbox 360 controller. There are two thrust controllers like planes do. There's the left engine and the right engine, isn't there? Right? But only one thruster on your standard flight yokes unless you go really specialist. And the trouble with that is you can't buy two. Yeah. Turnbull was saying that to me. It's like, well,
you could buy two for the price of brand new.
For the one he bought brand new, that's right. I'll just buy a second bloody one and map both thrusters just to get... Because when I first tried it, I pushed the thrust forward the bloody Boeing just veered off to the left on the runway. I was like, oh, for goodness sake, you have died, you know. But it's a really good game, and it is workable and playable with a 360 controller. I played whatever, you know.
Played all right. I mean, it was a little bit sensitive, but it was definitely playable.
Yeah. So what do you think of it anyway?
Well, when you first mentioned this and another one, I thought, oh, bless him, he's getting old and he wants to play old man games. But yeah, I mean, it's surprisingly entertaining, isn't it? You got your square sort of like, I don't know, hoops or whatever, the rectangles you got to fly through.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, just it's all about smoothness, isn't it? You can't, because like when I first was doing it, particularly because it's like so sensitive on the controller, I was perhaps still getting through the squares, but having to do a lot of turns to achieve it. And then you'd fail because it was like, well, yeah, you did it, but you didn't make it a smooth enough journey, efficient enough journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one that I mean, it is good. It's like Pilot Wings. There's a nice variety. I don't know. I mean, it's about as good as as like a non-shooty aircraft simulator in the arcade would be for me. But yeah, no, I did enjoy it. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it, and I can only imagine what it'd be like on the deluxe cabinet with the 3 screens and.
Well, imagine it, because it's got hydraulic motion feedback, right? It simulates turbulence, banking, and pitch changes, right? And then the seat has got a sound system, so it gives you more immersive feedback, rumbles and engine sounds, makes your arsehole vibrate, basically, when you're flying the plane in the arcade.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no denying. Imagine if that came into Arcade Club. You cannot tell me you would not give that a go.
Yeah. It's particularly for the deluxe with the 3 screen. But yeah, no, and it was a huge hit in Japan. It really was a huge hit. You know, I mean, it was like in like a lot of the top end arcades and even like aviation museums there.
Yeah,
it just shows you how you know the different tastes and things. But no, I thought it was surprisingly good. It did bring a lot to mind of, you know, Pilot Wings, obviously. And that same addictive quality of Pilot Wings. It had that magic ingredient. Although I was thinking when you had like the square rectangles, thinking, oh, why don't they have like an arcade Aliens the film variant where you're landing on the.
You're still playing that in easy basic mode. You know those squares. You're playing the grown-ups version.
Oh,
right?
I played.
All that goes away, you little child, with your stabilizers on your bike. You know what I mean?
Well, given that I was so bad at the baby version, I dread to think what it'd be like on the grown-up version.
It's good fun. I really enjoy it, and I'm determined to figure out a way to map the button, the one thrust. I've got ideas that I can make that work. That it'll do it for me. So yeah, we'll figure that out.
You're going to make a 3-screen deluxe one, aren't you? I could feel it.
The thing is, in front of me at the moment as we speak, as I've always had for a few years now, is 2 32-inch curved monitors. I just need a third one. That's all I need. You know,
exactly. Yeah, and it's flat, so it'd be cheaper. The middle.
You know, my neck doesn't rotate that far round to see even the 2 monitors.
Yeah, so you don't need it.
Yeah, I have to sit further back. But I mean, I've always been a person that when I've gamed, or you know, whether it be the Spectrum or the Amiga, my eyeballs are almost pressing against the monitor. That's immersion to me. That's why I never quite got into living room gaming, because if you're sitting in the settee, the telly's far too far away for gaming.
It's true, actually. Yeah. Particularly nowadays, isn't it, with the things? But yeah,
the minute they made it a wireless controller, when the Wavebird came out, people sat further away from the TV, and I can't do that. I need to be really close to it, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, shall we move on?
Yes. What are you choosing now then?
How are you?
Which old man game are you choosing now?
Oh, this is not an old man game. How are you with your motorbikes, mate?
Yeah.
He's excited now.
Yeah,
He's excited now. I've left this one for the middle. I just wanted to warm you up, ease you up to excitement here, right? What we have here is Wild Riders, released in 2001, again by the wonderful AM1. Paul, I know you like this game. You want to describe this game to the listeners?
Well, this is awesome. It's got like cell shaded, and it's typical sort of like motorbike racing, madcap. It's got a great comic book feel, but one of the nice things is that you pull up on the handle to do jumps at the right time, or pull down on the handle to like slide under things, and it just feels just so cool. I just love the visuals. I love how they make it look like a comic book. I love all the police trying to catch you and stuff like that, and it's just there's crashes left, right, and centre, and it just is so much fun to play. It's a really good one, this, and it's one that I've played once in the wild many years ago, but never ever saw since. So it's really cool being able to sort of play it again, because it's one that I've just never seen like any of the events, any of the retro events, or it's not, Arcade Club or anywhere like that I know of. So so this was awesome playing a game. I mean, what did you feel with this one?
Oh, absolutely adore this. I'm the same. I've only ever seen it in the wild once, and it didn't last that long. I'm back with games like this. I'm sure it's either in the local cinema, little arcade corner as they had, or next door to it in the bowling alley where they had arcade machines. I can't remember what. It was in a town called Dunfermline, just along the road from me.
Yeah.
But it just never lasted long. And it was for years I was wondering, what was that game that looked like Jet Set Radio and bikes? This cel-shaded, anarchistic, urban bike racing game. And that's what it is. It's just a whole group of racers at the start, as you were saying there, that all meet up and they're just racing through the urban metropolis, and the police are having none of this, and they've got blockades, and the more you bump into things, you slow down, and then there's a kind of handcuff icon, it looks like tug of war at the top, showing you the proximity of how close the cop car that is pursuing you is up your arse. And if eventually you bump into enough things or don't do the jumps and slides with the correct timing, then it's game over. But how great is this game? It's pure arcade.
Great, yeah.
It's absolutely pure arcade. I love swerving, avoiding, the comedic whole vibe to it. You've got the chief of police going to catch you. He's like that. There's even a Return of the Jedi moment. You're kind of going through a Central Park area, and there's all the trees. There's like Death Chase or
I was thinking Death Chase when I went through there. Yeah.
It's
and
superb.
It's going through so there's like going through the shopping arcades and stuff like that. I mean, it is really, really good. I mean, and this isn't a fault to the game, but it's I found it sometimes a little difficult on the Xbox controller to get in the habit. I mean, it took me a little bit of training to do the slide at the right times and stuff. But of course, in the arcade, because it'd be on the same handlebar, isn't it?
Push up and push down is a kind of analog device, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
We just have to think that extra little mile, which is difficult for my little brain, to use the other analog. But it was so good. Although I will say that, and I'm sure it worked fine on yours, but this one, because I've got quite an old, getting quite old PC now, it was struggled in places.
None whatsoever for me. None whatsoever.
But I just find this a lot of fun. I do love how it shows all the comic strips in the corner.
It's a nice touch, isn't it? Initially I thought, what the hell is that taking up half the screen? Or whatever. I'm trying to drive here. Yeah. But it's such fun. It's pure Sega, this game. Pure Sega is cool.
And how well would this do, like, if they did, like, even if they just released it vanilla on, like, the modern machines?
Yeah.
Or they or even a sequel. Can you imagine? I mean, it would really stand out. It would really stand out. So yeah, I mean, just yet another example of Sega just not using. Yeah, Sega
Use
just
your
not
IPs
using their
better.
IP. Yeah. They've got such a vast library. That's one of my dreams actually. Like like if you could like suddenly had ridiculous, like, I don't know, Elon Musk money, buy Sega, come out with a new cartridge-based machine.
$1 trillion that guy's going to get, you can do anything at a loss and not ever even incur a loss.
I know.
That's the point here. It's, Arcade Club is staying open indefinitely till the day I die.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm going to be Celine Dion there because I'm taking up residency.
And you'll come up with a whole nother building nearby so people can have all the machines that you're missing in Arcade.
The idea is to have everything, no matter the cost.
I'll tell you one thing, that blooming Mission Impossible will...
that's going. That's taking up far too much real estate with very little gain.
And also, actually, I don't like that Daytona remake either.
It's a bit pants, isn't it?
It's a bit pants. So disappointed that one. But great choice. It was wonderful.
Good. Glad you liked that one. I thought I'd cheer you up with that one because I'm sorry for the old man choices. But let's go for a little dip again because we're going back to mundane job simulators here. No, it's not Trash Man on the ZX Spectrum. This is Tokyo Bus Guide. He's laughing here. 1999, this came out, so it's a bit more of an earlier one by the Success Corp. Now, yes, you're a bus driver in Tokyo, and Japanese culture has very much a reputation for being a bit more obedient in terms of laws and society, and it's still meant to be one of the most happiest places to live on earth, but people are far more compliant. And what I mean by compliance here is when you drive this thing, you're not allowed to speed. You're not allowed to drive too slow. You've got to use your indicators. You've got to, check your mirrors before pulling out. You think you're on a bloody driving test. Anyone has experienced the DVLA and the wankers that work for them, right, that have had, a few failures for something trivial, is, you feel the pain of this game. But you know what? I love it. So yes, you're in downtown Tokyo and you're on a non-looping road. You have to go through all the boroughs, all the zones, areas, and you have to reach these areas at specific times. Hence the reason you can't speed or you're going to get to a bus stop far too early. So it starts off in the first zone. You see all the little cutscenes, a bit like the comic book pop-ups on Wild Riders. You see the passengers getting on, putting money in the, in the slots in your bus, and that's you off to the next stop. There's traffic lights, there's lanes to change, got to do your indicators, and you kind of got an energy bar. The more you drive, like what I do every single morning on the way to work, with veins popping out your neck, swearing at other drivers, sticking the V's up, overtaking umpteen cars and whatnot else, right? You need to obey everything. So obey the traffic lights, obey the signs, keep your speed limit, usually about 40 to 60 kilometres per hour. Use turn signals before lane changes. Avoid sudden braking or the passengers moan about you. And there's bus lanes as well. You have to observe if there's a bus lane you've got. It's a simulator again. It's accurate. when you stop the buses laughing, you've got to pull close to the curb. You've got to stop smoothly, open the doors, wait for the passengers to board. Let's use the posh word, and alight. I first heard that on the train. And careful when you alight the train. It's like, I've never heard that word in my life before. I light the train. I'm not a pyromaniac here. You know, so the sort of scorn based on timeliness, passenger comfort, safety, and proper signal and announcements.
That's what I said, old man's game.
It's old man's game. And so you get the common penalties, majors and minors. Sounds like your driving test. Run a red light, major. Not using a turn signal, minor. Opening doors outside the stop is a minor. Late or early arrivals, minors. Collisions is major. I quite like it. I think it's quite a satisfying game.
It's surprisingly relaxing, but it's so relaxing. I did genuinely, it was quite late at night playing it, and I did fall asleep while playing it. And it took me ages to find the indicator. Because it comes out, it's all in Japanese, and I knew.
Yes.
I'm thinking, why does it come out red whenever I start? And then realised that you have to do like the indicating, and I did get into the flow of it eventually, but it's some of us are more like Crazy Taxi and taking shortcuts through.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is unique. I will give it that. It's a unique game, and of course, like these old man simulators are very popular. Because you can get bus. This was one of the first, wasn't it? You can get like Bus Simulator 26 or whatever it is up to now.
There's lots of these mundane, driving sims these days that take it. Look how popular even the farming sim games are now, where you just drive a combine harvester through a field cutting wheat, It's like straight line, turn round, straight line. It's like, wow.
I will say it's about as fun as I can imagine a bus simulator to be.
Well, you're not going to be working for Stagecoach anytime soon, are we?
I'd be definitely taken away, because, as I say, I'm definitely more your Crazy Taxi. Well,
I meant to always ask you, by the way, anyway, because you do love your driving games as such, especially. Do you actually have a driving license, or was there never any need since you lived in the city?
I did a long time ago, but I would probably take it again. It's been too long. I get too nervous with the older.
So what was your first car?
I had my old granddad's car, a Ford Escort.
Oh, cool.
The Mark 1.
Yeah. Oh, that's very nice. Awesome. Did the chicks dig it? He's not going to answer that question, is he? He's not going to answer that question, folks. The music on and that Amiga music playing in a C90 with his elbow out of the car.
Yeah. Oh no, I had the tape of Blues Brother Soul Sister. Awesome.
Brilliant.
But
Brilliant.
it's I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I did enjoy, but I wasn't very good at it, I have to admit. It seemed to be whatever you did or whatever I did, I was getting the big red Japanese symbol telling me how many points I'd lost. But yeah, I can see if you're into those sort of games, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
Fair enough, then. Fair enough. That's good. Right. Shall we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay. See, he's been polite, isn't he? He's just been polite. He's entertaining me here.
Well, you got to be sweet to the old fogies, isn't it?
I'm telling you.
You enjoy the bus simulator.
You're the one that gets the bus all the time. You've got the bus up to Arcade Club.
Do you want the fishing simulator as well? While you're at it.
Oh, I don't do fishing games. Never think I've ever done that. Even Zelda, everybody used to get obsessed with. I found a pond in Zelda and spent the next 2 hours fishing. Yeah, right.
I was joking with Charlie, because like the game that he's obsessed with now is like, what's that, Power Wash Simulator?
Oh, Power Wash Sim, yeah.
And like when we were walking to Arcade Club, you've got the car cleaning place.
Yeah, yeah.
I said, why don't you work there on the weekend?
You'd be close to Arcade Club as well.
You'd be close to Arcade Club and you could like earn a living there. Get paid for cleaning stuff rather than virtually doing it.
Yeah.
Right, what's next then?
Well, you like your shooters as in gun games, don't you?
Yes.
I mean, you're quite partial to House of the Dead. But we're not going to cover House of the Dead because that's far too predictable for a Naomi game. But let's cover something with a Egyptian mythological twist here. And that is Maze of Kings again by AM1. Well, these guys are just champions of the arcade, aren't they? And this was released in 2002. So the gameplay structure, like most on-rail gun games, is very similar to House of the Dead. Okay? The players move automatically, as they do, going through all the different Egyptian tombs. And instead of guns you use, this game's full of innuendo, by the way. Did you notice that? I was some of the speech that the characters were saying, I was like, fanar, you know. So you use magical staff guns instead of traditional firearms, firing sort of energy bolts from them rather than bullets. So you can choose whichever ones. Some are more powerful, but requires a more frequent reload time, which on the arcade you had to fire at the ground away from the screen, or in the wonders of emulation, right mouse click. You know, so obviously the enemies include mummies, scarabs, undead soldiers, scorpions, gods of the underworld, and all rest, large boss creatures inspired by Egyptian mythology as well. But what I liked about this game as well, it's not quite linear. There's decision-making branching in the game, right? So it briefly pauses and confronts the player with a choice of multiple passageways. So you shoot the corridor or on-screen icon to correspond to the path that you want to go on. And then when you do that, it's the route you take. Some branches are equally triggered by how well you're performing in the game. It's conditional pathways, that's the best way to describe it. So if you defeat a mid-boss quite quickly or clear a room without damage, you might go a different path. So there's huge replayability in this game. But if you're not as focused on it, don't really care for, I just want to shoot things, it's actually a really good, if you like the whole Egyptian theme, and that's the point. It is House of the Dead in Egypt. That's the whole thing. And it's just
very much
great
so,
fun.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Oh, I really enjoyed this one. This was and it one again completely new to me because this didn't really come out at all in Europe or America.
No.
And I mean it is like Egyptian House of the Dead, but better visuals actually than House of the Dead. Obviously, that little bit later, but yeah, just nice variety of enemies. I love the Egyptian setting, and it's a really good frantic blaster, really, isn't it? It's just a lot of fun. I would love to play. I must actually, one of the things I must do is try and get my light gun that I've got for the modern TVs.
Systems,
it's in storage. It's in storage somewhere, but I can't for the life of it.
Paul, why is that even in storage? Full stop. Inexcusable. Get that?
I'll tell you the reason why. This is when your missus is grumpy and puts what she thinks should go in the storage unit, and you don't realise until you're like, "Where's my light gun?"
See, if I left that choice to my wife, she'd put me in the storage unit.
Well, actually, it's funny. Just as a side, with the storage unit. So she sent me off to do like to put all the summer clothes, so you get like the winter clothes back kind of thing. And I came back with a sheepish look on my face. So there was another box, basically all my Amiga powers.
As you do.
Like, where are we going to put that? It's, well, we'll find a place.
On my bedside cabinet, that's my reading.
Yeah, it's awesome. Actually, I was really shocked. I've only got 4 of the later ones, which unfortunately are stupid prices. But, you know, I was surprised actually how complete my collection is actually.
Well done, you. Well done.
Yeah, I might like manually print out the last 4 that I'm missing because I could never justify. They go for about 200 quid.
Wow, I didn't appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, and like they're paper thin because it was at the end of the, you know, it's when I'd left the Amiga. It's at the point when basically there was no games, so it's like they're paper thin, the magazines. You know, when you're in the 60, yeah, because they're all in the 60s, the ones that I'm missing.
Right.
So yeah, I'll probably just print them out because there's no way on this God's green earth that I would justify paying 200 quid for a magazine.
No, that's just silly.
No.
That's just silly.
Yeah,
cool.
But yeah, no, I'm back to this. I really, really enjoyed it. It's got a lot nice variety. I love, you know, some of the sections.
Did you like the camel ride section? They're all riding.
Yeah,
because you could play 2 players as well, right?
Oh, I want to play 2-player with this, and yeah.
When you're on that camel, it gets a bit more like Serious Sam.
Yes,
and the hordes rush upon you. You know,
I love it when they're all running at you.
Yeah, it's like wow.
It's a nice. Yeah, in some ways it's better than like the House of the Dead with all the enemies coming at you.
I think it's because it's fresh. Paul, you've probably played House of the Dead's wonderful. There's no denying that. Or even Typing of the Dead is good fun as well. That's better than Mavis Beacon teaches typing. Come on, let's be honest about it.
Yeah,
but I suppose the whole Egyptian theme is just something we've all grown up with Hollywood movies and the whole mystery surrounding it and that. You know, everybody loves a bit Egypt, whether it be playing Tomb Raider, whether it be watching The Mummy or classic movies from back in the day. It's you know, it's part of us, the whole Hollywoodization, I suppose, and it is of Egypt, and that this plays upon that kind of thing, and
it really was. It's like House of the Dead 2, but Egyptian. Really is how I would describe it. It's you know, it's even the end level bosses that you come across. You know, you got the certain places you got to shoot them, just like in House of the Dead 2. I'm surprised that this didn't hit more. It was more popular. I would have thought it would have done quite well. And again, this is another one that, you know, because obviously you had the light gun on the Dreamcast. It's such a shame that you didn't see these sort of things. But just amazed. It was like finding another House of the Dead. I mean, it's kind of reminded me as well. If you ever played, I was looking to see if it was like related at all, but years later you had the Sega Golden Gun.
Yeah.
Which it reminded me a lot of that because that's obviously got sort of like Egyptians, but of course that's based in the city. Japanese city, but no, I mean, I was really taken with this.
I'm glad you liked it, mate. That was good.
It's one that I definitely would want to get my, I really want to set up, get my light gun working. Because the thing is, when I bought the light gun, it was a long time ago, and I had a really flaky PC that someone had given me for free, so I shouldn't complain, but it kept on crashing.
Okay.
And I could never get the light gun working properly, but I think it was more to do with my PC at the time rather than a fault with the gun.
Right.
So I got like an aim track, but this is a really good one, and it's got me. You know, some of the ones that you've chosen here has got me really wanting to go through the entire Naomi library and look beyond, because you always go to your comfort. You know, you
do absolutely, yeah.
And there's a treasure trove of others here. Yeah, I know. In some ways, I did prefer it to even House of the Dead, just because of the swarms of enemies really running at you. It got your
that would be an absolute blast in 2-player mode with the swarms coming towards you. I think that would be there'd be a good laugh. Now on not that we've really mentioned how we're emulating it too much, but just as a little side note before going to our final game, is that obviously we're using Flycast emulator, folks, if you're wondering what we've done. And it's not, you need to get the ROM and the CHD files as well to make these games work, and sometimes the BIOS files. It's a bit of a faff, but it's worth the effort. But not only can you really upscale these games to make them look beautiful, I mean, it just looks incredible. I mean, I'm running these games at 4K visuals, and it's just like, wow, this is great. But like on this game, you can change the colour of the crosshair, Paul. I didn't notice if you noticed that in the sub-menus on Flycast, right? Yeah. It's defaulted to white, which is the worst colour if you're using the mouse, where it just gets lost in the wash. And shit, I'm shooting blindly here. I'm keeping loose. You know, we've all had that time where you've lost the mouse on your screen. It's like, where the hell's the mouse cursor? But you can change it. So I changed mine to magenta. It just really...
I need to experiment more with the emulator. I just
go under the hood, muck about it more. It's so configurable. Obviously, mapping the buttons the best to your abilities. It's fine with a mouse shooter game. These kind of small tweaks make the world a difference, albeit I would love to play it with a Ascending light gun or equivalent that works with modern.
Yeah, maybe you could do something with your Wiimote.
You can.
Your Dolphin bar.
You can, there's tweaks for that. I will, because once I go down that rabbit hole, that's at me for months. That's my trouble when I get into something like that. It's like I want to make every light game work with it. And it's not just that game. It becomes an obsession. It's like that's my focus for a while. No,
I know what you mean. My trouble is I say, like, with 6-year-old granddaughter, she'll want to play everything.
I know.
Whenever I take video footage of anything, there you'll see it. Some reasonable play. That's when she's playing, and then it goes really bad.
Brilliant.
Yeah. No, it's This was really good, and I was pleased to say it wasn't an old man's game. You did well.
Yeah, I'm not that old, mate. Sometimes I am, but not all the time. Right, let's go to our final game then, and I know you love this game, because this is another game that kind of fueled the idea for this episode.
This is my one stipulation. Please, you could choose what you want, but please choose this one.
Exactly. So, over to you, Mr. Drisk.
Well, as I say, everybody knows 18-wheeler, and we all love 18-wheeler, and really, really good sort of like driving a truck across America. And it is, as great as that is, I think there's a better game, which is its sequel, which is The King of Route 66, which sadly, I mean, it got a substandard port on the PS2.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay, but it's not, it's not, it was a bit disappointing, but I've been, as I say, that when we went to, when I did play Blackpool years ago in Arcade Club in Blackpool, they actually had King of Route 66, the sequel. And
did it?
I fell in love with it there. Absolutely fell in love with it. But of course, then played the PS2 version because I discovered with that, and it was like, not great. And, I just assumed, I mean, as much as I love it, I was seriously considering doing like a road trip to Arcade Club just to play the different arcade, Arcade Club in Blackpool, just to play these different arcade machines that they don't have. And I was over the moon with this one in particular when you said, you got it working, the emulator 5.0, because so what is it? So it's 18-wheeler, but it's got more of a storyline this time. There's not that I particularly worry about the storyline, but it's more interesting places you're driving through in America. There's additional things there's like Route 66, because you're driving basically on Route 66, hence the name. And there's shields that you can pick up for extra points. But also there's nitros. And it's very much, you can take out there's certain rivals, which if you manage to crash them, will give you like extra seconds. And it's all about, of course, getting to the rival first, following it through. But it does have more variety as well, where you basically, after you've dropped off your truck, then the next level you're without any like haulage that you're carrying with you, and you've got to drive to the next venue, which is cool. And I also prefer, partly because it's less of a faff and takes less time to do, the bonus this time, rather than having to negotiate that car park that you do in the first one. This time you just simply have to like back up within the time limit and brake in the time. Yeah. But there's just so much madness to this. It's like you can go through buildings and it's just a huge amount of fun. And it's quite, so some of the later levels, you have to really take some like what seemingly impossible shortcuts, isn't it? You're going up gates and jumping through. It was quite a challenge, even on infinite credits. It took me a good few.
It's a
credits.
Very challenging game.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I would say. The only slight negative Nelly thing is, which is its arcade roots. It rewards you for failing. So like sometimes it'd be impossible to finish because it wants you to put another coin in, and then when you get another coin to continue the game, you'll get all your nitros back, and that makes it like feasible to get to the end. And of course, the one thing I forgot to mention is the convoys as well.
Yeah.
So at certain points in this, you get somebody says, "Oh, do you want to do like a convoy?" And you can choose yes or no based on like your wipers or your horn, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, what did you think with this one? Was this?
Oh, it's absolutely superb. Yeah, I'd never really played this until you started singing its praises, and then it became under my radar. I only ever knew of 18-wheeler, and I'm with you. It's a far better, far more enjoyable game. I think it captures the Trans-America vibe more. It captures the whole Chris Christopherson convoy movie, just really good. I love the destruction, the mayhem, the whole rival. I mean, there's nothing more satisfying than trying to knock the rival off the road, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's superb. You got a little story where there have been arseholes in the diner to start off with, the two main rivals you're against, they're causing crap in a sort of backtown diner somewhere, but it is a game where you've got to use the nitros more wisely.
Yeah.
But it's one of the games as well that I actually really like playing it from the view from the cockpit rather than...
I prefer the cockpit.
Yeah, and I normally like zero view rather than seeing through a windscreen. Normally, if I'm playing Ridge Racer or anything, things you can change the views on. I don't like seeing the bonnet or the hood of a car, anything like that. I just want to see the road in front of me for distraction. But there's something really good about viewing it from the cockpit of the vehicle. It feels slightly simulator-ish, a bit more old manish. There are times you have to change the view to third person, I think, especially
with the convoy. Yeah, that was the one of the things I didn't like with the convoy, but you felt guilty because they get really huffy if you say no.
Yeah. No, I'm all right. I'm fine, mate. Yeah. The locations are all good. The Vegas-like locations, the more rural regions, everything like that. There's the kind of whole crazy taxi, yellow marked area that, that's the bit you've got to reach to as well. I mean, it's rooted in arcade fun, and that's what it is. And it works great as a game. I'd love to play this in the wild. So,
and it's got really impressive rain effects and things like that. The weather
absolutely,
effects.
Yeah.
Again, this would be one I would love to see a proper sequel. Like to see it vanilla You can imagine, like, if Sega again released like a double pack, 18-wheeler and King of Route 66, you'd pay 20 quid for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It'd be money on the table. I don't understand it. And the other things we haven't mentioned, some of the things you pick up here is a lot more interesting. It's like there's one where you're picking up the Sega sign to take to the headquarters, like the Sega America headquarters. No, it's so interesting, the stuff that you're picking up, like the Ferris wheels, and you've got the Sega arcade. Just well thought out, and as I say, the tracks are really good, where you do genuinely have to take some absolutely Crazy Taxi style shortcuts to get where you need to get to, and learning where all the nitros are is so important. Yeah, so I'm glad you got to finally play it, and I mean, it is. I mean, obviously, it's the same arcade machine as 18-wheeler. It's just a different game put on it, basically. You know, it was like an upgrade kit.
Yeah.
I keep trying to woo Retro Realm because they've got 18-wheeler to say,
get the better one.
Yeah, put on. Well, as good as it is, what would be really good is having a switch between them. That would be the awesome thing, isn't it? I'd be able to choose one or two. That would be really good. But again, absolutely dumbfounded that it didn't really get a home port anywhere. As I say, the Dreamcast didn't get one, and the PS2. You would think the PS2 being more powerful in many ways, you would think it would do a better job. But I don't know. I was quite disappointed when I played it because I was so enamoured with it, Arcade Club in Blackpool, that I went out my way to track it down, but and then was a bit disappointed. But this is great. Finally having the arcade version in the home. I've completed this one several times already, which is that's how much I love it.
It's testament to how much you love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, that was a good choices.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed these then. Apart from the boring ones, yeah. Which you're never going to be flying planes and driving buses anytime soon then, no?
Well, not unless it's like Crazy Taxi style, yeah.
Cool. What about any other hidden gems that we've not mentioned? Any that you're aware of that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Ooh. Okay, yeah. So what ones, I mean, there's so many ones actually. I had a lot of fun with Alien Front. That's quite good.
Yeah.
Shooting up the aliens and things like that. That was a obscure one. Border Down.
Yeah, but that's one of mine. Border Down.
Yeah. We covered that before as well.
Yeah. A phenomenal 3D shooter. Beautiful game. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the ones because we're planning to go through the Dreamcast episode.
Don't want to spoil it too much.
Kingy. I don't want to spoil. Yeah, because a lot of them did make it to the Dreamcast. So I'm
just not in the EU Dreamcast lineup. Was just
appalling. Yeah. I'm just looking here. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything.
Have you ever played Chaos Field?
Yes, that's quite good. Yeah, that was good. I've been a while playing it. I'm so excited to sort of like dive in and play them because it is such a impressive library, really, of classic games. And there were so many. I was surprised actually because in my head I was like, oh well, I can't get it working, but at least I know I have like my Dreamcast can play them all. You know, the Dreamcast versions. But I realised actually there's an awful lot out there, completely new. What about you then? While I think about other things,
Border Down was my main one, I think,
which we did cover, wasn't it? I remember covering that with you as well.
Did we?
So we have covered it before, yeah.
On for the Dreamcast itself, though, didn't we?
Yeah, the Dreamcast, but they are pretty much like for like. Yeah,
yeah, it is. Oh, no.
You mentioned Typing of the Dead. That's a good one.
Yeah, it is, and there is an arcade version of that with keyboards that were there. I mean, it's a weird thing that it's just something that I always thought became a thing of because you had a PC. You know, you can play these or the Sega keyboard as well that came out for the Dreamcast and whatnot. But I never really thought it would be an arcade thing, but it did actually exist. But come on, if Typing of the Dead. We went to Arcade Club, Paul, right? Typing of the Dead was next to House of the Dead with a gun. Which one are you going to play? Who's going to be the old man now? I'm going to sit down in my secretary chair and go clickety clickety click, ching, clickety clickety click, ching. I'll go pew pew pew. I think I can guess which one.
I had the Dreamcast keyboard, so I was like,
yeah, that did you well, because what was it online? There was a lot of online games you were able to
type. But
type
the sad thing
communicate.
is, because you know me, I'm never really into online games. So the reason I bought the Dreamcast keyboard was purely for typing of the Dead, and I loved it. I regret nothing.
Yeah. Well, there's a weird mundane one. You've got Derby Owners Club if you like your horses and horse racing breeding simulation game. It's a bit left field, but too gentry old manish for you, I think.
I mean, I have to say, but a lot of the ones I'm curious because either I don't know a lot of these games, but the ones I know are because I know them from the Dreamcast, so I don't want to like spoil it. But there is. I mean, to our listeners, there's a treasure trove of amazing games on this system, and I'm so thankful to you, Kingy, for finally getting it for me in the home.
That's all right.
It's awesome.
That's what we're here for. Help each other out.
Yeah. So, as I say, I'm looking forward to my next thing when I've got a bit more time. I'm going to put it on the launch box wheel. So
cool.
The symbols and that.
That kind of permifies it, doesn't it? If that's a word, that's a set in stone for you. Then once it's into your whole, your.
Well, it just makes it wonderful because you've got all the artwork, and it just makes it easier to discover hidden gems because you'll suddenly you'll look at something and say, oh, that's a bus simulator. We'll probably skip that.
No, you won't. There are people here that will play that over some of the games you choose. I know that.
I know. I'm only joking. Everybody's entitled to their wrong opinion.
That's all right, considering we came off the last year episode. You want to play some questionable pedo snuff games?
This is my revenge.
No, it's a fantastic. Whether it's the original Naomi board or Naomi 2 or the GD-ROM variants, it just showed you the staying power and Sega's mental attitude still towards arcade gaming, and what great experiences.
It was so sad, really, that Sega sort of stopped doing the arcades. Really, I mean, they still do, but it's not really. Really, this was getting close to their last hurrah, didn't they? They obviously did the Limbo with your Outrun 2, which is so popular and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the quality of the games when you got to that period was getting a bit more sporadic. For every Outrun 2, there was a lot of Planet Harrier or something like that, which was a bit meh, really, if you're honest. And even like, I mean, one of the things, of course, was on the follow up, the essentially the Xbox type hardware was like Crazy Taxi 3, But I'll be honest, I mean, as much as I do love with Crazy Taxi 3, it just so happens actually NQ64 had Crazy Taxi 3 in it. Because it's called Crazy Taxi High Rollers, if ever people see it in the wild. The Xbox port was Crazy Taxi 3. And it's good, but it's not as good as the original Crazy Taxi. They never really beat the original Crazy Taxi in that, with all the setting, particularly of San Francisco, as sublime, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Right, well, I'm glad you enjoyed that, mate, and I hope this encourages anyone to have a look. Whether you want to play them on the ones you can, just entice you back to the Dreamcast if you can't even get Naomi working, but it is very workable as an emulation system. So for us on the PCs, it was certainly Flycast. There's other emulators that deal with it, but we've had no bother with this emulator at all, have we?
No, absolute star emulator. It really does a good job. Amazing job.
Really good. So, on that note, we shall leave you and we'll see you all on the very next episode. And until then, keep it Sega.
Yes. Awesome.
Right.
All right. Well, till next time, keep it retro.
Bye-bye.
Bye.